And if you drink the Kool-Aid, you could be in a world of hurt when you figure out that, like, hey, man, I'm not in that age gap. Mm-hmm. This is kind of scary because this is something that I want to do, and I have dreams and aspirations. And I've aged out of this thing. So is it time for me to turn the dream in? Mm-hmm. I don't agree with that. Yo, what's good? Welcome to the Mowry podcast. I'm Tavior Mowry.
I'm Sandy Mowry.
This is the Mowry podcast. What's happening? How you doing? How you doing?
Good. I was just thinking about if her last name was spelled M-O-R-I.
Mowry?
Would that you feel like people pronounce it right?
Nah, they probably say Mowry.
M-O-R-E-E.
Mowry. Yeah.
So that'd be closer.
Yeah. But it was originally spelled M-O-R-E-Y.
Mowry. Yeah.
Some dude did the census.
Like Corey.
Exactly. Mowry
Corey
like
in
Corey.
the house. Y'all heard that shit?
Yeah. I don't know, maybe not. Well, yeah, they probably for sure seen that.
What do you mean maybe not?
Well, I'm saying like age-wise. Anyway, that's a great segue into the conversation today.
Corey in the House was a spinoff. That's already
that was not the foundation of the conversation, but yeah, it was a good spinoff. Anyway, Zenny was asking me what I wanted to talk about today, and I wanted to talk about kind of this. Or let me give some backstory before we get super deep. Zenny, how old are you?
29.
I'm 31. Just turned 31, so I'm like a fresh 31.
I just turned 29, so I'm like a fresh 29.
Oh no, you like a smooth 6 months in 29.
Time is relative.
Time is relative. And that's an interesting concept because I remember being younger, I had expectations, aspirations, desires, and visions of where I would be at 30. And I don't know why 30 was such a highlighted number. Mm-hmm. It's a really highlighted number in culture in general, where you almost feel like if you haven't done something by 30, like it's too late. Mm-hmm. Have you shared that experience by chance?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So mom, 30 has always been like the adult year for me because mom had Lexi and I at 30.
Okay.
And we're number 4 and 5 of her kids. So it was like she was done having kids by 30. Mm-hmm. I've always known her as a stay-at-home mom, but before us, she worked. So it was like she worked and then got money, and then dad came to, before me, but after Ashley and Shayna, dad came to the picture, they got married. Mom started working, dad took over, didn't have to work. Mom didn't have to work anymore, had the twins. And then life was good, you know? So I was like, okay, so you have it together by 30. Like that was like the period kind of, or the entryway into the life that I knew growing up. And my perception of that was like, my parents knew everything to a certain extent, like at least finances, like adult responsibilities they had under wraps. And because I've always been exactly 30 years younger than her, I'm like, okay, that's the age where you begin to know it all. That's where all the adult.
And being a young 29, almost going up to 30.
A mid 29.
A mid 29. Do you feel like you have it all together?
No.
Yeah.
Now, this might be cocky.
Oh my gosh.
I do feel like I have some things more under wraps than my perception, and this is based on social media. Okay. But my perception of people around my age or younger than me.
Okay.
By a couple of years.
What? Oh yeah, we watched the 100-meter dash today. Shout out to Noah Lyles. About that action. Got first place, gold medal. And Joffrey, the dude that got bronze.
The Jamaican one?
Nah.
Freddie or Fred.
Yeah. Shouts out to you, bro. Congrats.
Yeah, it's huge. What I feel like I have together?
Yeah, you were saying you're comparing to like...
Well, I shouldn't say comparing. I should just say I feel more settled than... Like, I'm okay not having it all together.
Word.
But I'm also like... Something I was thinking about today in our marriage is like communication. I feel comfortable in our current state of like how we communicate with each other.
Yeah.
And thankful that this still feels like the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much room for us to learn and grow.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like I'm constantly like barely keeping my head above water.
Right.
Where I'm just like, I don't know anything. Like,
Right.
I thought I would have it all figured out, and I'm spiraling. I don't know anything.
Right.
I'm like, I know who God is, and I know why I serve Him. I know I made the right choice in getting married to Dave. I'm thankful for, I know not to touch you because you'll freak out. I'm grateful for our communication. I was texting friend. She was processing with me like some marriage stuff, and I was like, okay, wow, like I'm thankful, and this is no shade, but that we aren't dealing with the same communication things that we had to deal with like 6 years ago when we first got together.
Yeah.
Because it was just rough.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for the pace in the life that we've submitted to and accepted by God. Mm-hmm. With Try, mm-hmm. and like the way that we're learning to parent him, and like the way that we communicate around parenting him.
Shouts out to Try for climbing out the crib today, first time. That was crazy.
Yeah. It's he's moving so fast, so we kind of have to like stay connected in order to be like, is this cool? Did you want to do like? How do you feel like he's responding to this? Mm-hmm. And then like I'm thankful for our community. Yeah. And like the way we've learned to communicate and the way that we've learned to get through tough times as a group, but then also like celebrate each other. And I think because I prioritize those things so much, I feel more settled in that. Mm-hmm. Now, my career, thankful for my career, I don't feel settled. Okay. I'm not like, oh yeah, like we've arrived, we're where we want to be.
Yeah,
or
like I want like 6 Grammys.
Yeah, like or just even like I can see the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a job like that. It's like making music and being any kind of entertainer is so connected to social media and what it does or what it doesn't do. Yeah. That nobody can predict it.
Facts.
So, not financially, but career-wise, is probably the one place where I thought I would be in a different place by 30. Because I got signed at 19. Mm-hmm. So definitely by 30, I thought we were going to be... Can't walk through the streets, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
we've been here, like we've been. Sorry, y'all. Like I just gotta get to my family, you know. And I think why I can say I feel settled is because my identity isn't on the career thing. Mm-hmm. But if it was, and I know that it is for a lot of people, your whole world feels shaky. Facts. Because it's like, well, I don't know what I'm doing here, so I don't know what I'm doing anywhere.
But even on the other side, like, I know for men especially, like, work and career.
Yeah, get into it.
Yeah, but then also for women, it's like, I'm not married yet. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, you see how you was about to go in, but I had to, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But like, you know...
For sure.
Depending upon who's perceiving that situation, like everything is different. I think for me, like, I did not see me being where I am right now. Like, as a kid, I suppose. Mm-hmm. But I think that me being 31, I feel like I'm 20 though. In the sense of like, from an opportunity standpoint of like, I still feel very young in the sense of like the time isn't running out. You know what I mean? Yeah.
This feels new though, so maybe you should unpack.
It is for sure new because like within 24 hours new. I was
like, now this.
Because like, hear me out, and it's something. It's not this. Something that's like. It's like wet cement, right?
Yeah.
It's solid, but hey, you can still like, you know.
Wouldn't step on it quite yet.
Yeah, just don't step on it. Let me stay out in the sun for a little bit.
You don't want to say harden.
Why you gotta do that? It's not that kind of.
Because I saw you trying.
It's not.
You already
that
said
kind of
cement, so I was like, that's.
Nah,
we know you're talking about
take it easy.
You ain't
Be
gotta
cool.
search
No,
for
no,
another
no,
word.
no. So look,
cement. Hard.
no,
That's
Zandy.
how it is.
All right, I'm about to. So what I'm saying is, like, and you've heard me.
Fresh idea.
You've heard me say this before, like. When I'm on the like sober side, and when I say sober, I'm talking like I am not intoxicated by like lies, not
and
emotions, not necessarily substances, but you can be like intoxicated in like frustration and confusion. Like, I believe that we're racing towards a finish line. All of us, every single human being on the face of the earth is like racing towards a finish line, and not to sound morbid or anything, but like it's death. Like that is the finish line of this life. So whenever I catch myself rushing, I'm like, yo, what am I rushing towards? You know what I'm saying? There's not a time limit on the things that I have to do. I don't believe that there are, but the society and culture would tell you that there is. If you haven't done XYZ by 21, by 25, by 30, oh, you'll never have a career in that field because you got to be like popping at 18. You know what I'm saying? And if you drink the Kool-Aid, you could be in a world of hurt when you figure out that like, hey man, I'm not in that age gap. This is kind of scary because this is something that I want to do, and I have dreams and aspirations, and I've aged out of this thing. So is it time for me to turn the dream in? I don't agree with that, personally. But even then, like, there's two sides to everything, right? And this is why the cement is still wet. Because it's like, I enjoy cinematography heavily. Always wanted to be a director. Always wanted to be a cinematographer, Rather be behind the camera than in front of the camera, naturally, ever since a child. They say that you don't really start getting looks as a director, cinematographer until you're like 40.
Yeah, because I don't trust age.
Right, but I'm also like, oh, I still got time. So I'm still subscribing to the same narrative that says if you're not popping at 18, 21, you won't have a music career. You know what I'm saying? Which is why the cement is still wet. Because it's like, if the aging out of a career field and you haven't even reached the age to enter in that career field, if those things are still on the table, you're still subscribing to that narrative.
Even if one is like on the positive side.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And I think that's what gets people caught up, because they're like, oh, I'm in the zone. This is cool. I'm absolutely, yeah, bro, you for sure have to be 23 if you want to do this. It's a young man sport. And then when they age out, it's like, wait, hold up, it's a wrap? I'm like, no, not necessarily. And if you didn't even get on during that window, you can still get popping. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Such an interesting concept, the age thing, and the society, like the norms, because then there's like these hopeful stories. I think there's something about Denzel and age. I don't want to misquote it, but it's like Denzel didn't do this until he was X. You know what I mean?
Or Oprah. Oprah didn't get like even a look, not a break, but a look until she was like 30 something.
And I go like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like you're saying about the, you're still subscribing to that thing,
right?
And I'm like, okay, cool. I still have time because I'm 29. You know, but the only.
Or sorry, another was Ain't No Sunshine. Bill. Nah, that's not
Bill Withers.
Bill Withers. He was like 42 when that joint came out.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But then you can defend it and be like, well, the music people are listening to then versus what they're listening to now. But again, even that always keeps you on the hamster wheel of how old, what am I contributing, what's the perfect storm.
Yeah.
Why did Bill Withers work?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
was it the content?
Right.
Was he posting 500 times a day?
No, but I don't think that like the concept of social media and the requirements of it is a new thing. I do think social media is a new thing though. Like that's why people were going to radio stations
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
people
facts.
still do it to a certain extent, but like a radio tour was a thing, like in the early 90s.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
And I doubt people were like, I'm trying to go spend my music for free.
No.
I want to spend money to, you know what I mean? There's always we can look at the current, what's the word, like hurdle,
ecosystem,
if you will. Yeah, and be like, we shouldn't have to do this.
Right.
I shouldn't have to jump this in order to play music. But it's always been there.
Oh yeah, you always jumping through a hoop.
Yeah. Anyway, how do we get through the concept of age? Because it's not necessarily like a concept as if one day I can be like, actually, I'm 25. You know what I mean? Which maybe one day people will be able to do that. It's not an opinion.
I'm actually 11 years old, so let me get the child's menu.
Right. And I'll be paying the children's price. But how do people settle if they're in a season of like, age is against me, time is against me?
Yeah.
Opportunity doesn't feel like it's for me.
Yeah.
Like I've been chasing this thing for a long time, whether that be creative, like you're saying, marriage, kids, the thing that I think will get me to the other side of like really living. Because it's not, I think even with kids too, with women, part of why women and the marriage thing is like such a thing to do when you're younger is because they're always saying like, well, you can't have kids after a certain age. So it's like, well, I gotta get married. It's like playing backwards.
Clock.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, if I get married by this time, then I have this many years to be with my husband, then I still have this many years to try to get pregnant.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't even know it was like that. Doing math. Running plays.
I'm not saying every woman's like that, but I'm saying part of the thing that's been taught by society is you won't be able to have a kid after 35, after 40, you know. Otherwise, it's dangerous now, you know. And it's like, I don't subscribe to that. Like, I know a lot of women who have very healthy pregnancies past their 40s, but it's still connected to time and age. Like, we're taught this isn't going to happen for you after this age. So it needs to happen now or never. And it's in even like, you know, expiration dates on food. It's like, is it still good or have I timed out? Yeah. So it's like the whole time concept is just in everything. What time is it? Okay, I need to get Triumph up to eat before I have to work. Now, I'm not saying it's all bad. Like, 3 o'clock's away. You know, we do everything we want. But I am saying it's very hard to measure what time is for me and what time isn't.
That sounds like a seasonal thing. Like, I think there's a lot of examples in scripture of like people being quote unquote out of season by like the world standards, and God being like, oh nah, like Abraham and Sarah, Moses at 40 when God called him and being like, hey, you about to bring my folks up out of Egypt. Jesus starting at 30. 3 years. Ministry for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it also speaks about, like in scripture, about God restoring the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's such an interesting principle.
You chose such a huge...
Oh, it's a vast...
Like...
It's a vast...
It's not something that we can boil down to like one concept or sentence or thought by the end of it and be like, so this is the bow.
Nah.
It's high time.
I think it's this more just like a food for thought conversation.
Yeah.
Because it's like God exists in the eternal realm, and that is a realm that exists outside of time.
Yeah.
We live in 4 dimensions, with it being like length, width, depth, and time being the 4th one. So it's like we're in this 3-dimensional location at this specific time. However, he's not bound by any of that. So I believe
that is the anchor.
And like that's the through line, in my opinion, because it's like, okay, you received a prophetic word, and this thing is coming to pass, and his word is not coming back void. But just like when he said, like, hey, yo, Sarah, you about to have a baby. And she laughs. You know what I'm saying? Like, does he not know how old I am? He's like, yeah, pretty sure he's aware of that. But still, like...
That's the same sentence you used on me upstairs.
What?
Pretty sure I know it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? See, look,
Sorry,
you out here shaking people up.
I just thought you said the same words. I was like...
What I'm saying is that she was functioning from her own understanding and not submitted to the awareness, knowing of what God could do.
And that is
does do.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
Because it feels practical.
What, easy to be like Sarah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, that's how we go through our days. When was the last time I ate? Breakfast hours. Okay. Or if I'm like feeding Try, it's like, when was the last time he ate? Okay, it's been 3 hours. He should have a snack. Logic. And I'm looking at time.
Right.
And then it's worked.
Yeah.
He's growing the way he's supposed to grow. He's happy when he has oranges, or whatever. But then faith takes all of that away and goes, you're not too old to have a kid, trust me. And it's like, so just delete everything just delete all logic. And he's like, yeah. Yeah.
That's like slick a lot of faith though. Because I feel like if you can logically understand something, it doesn't require faith.
Right. That's Hebrews 11:1. Faith is being sure of what you hope for and certain of what you cannot see.
Right.
Cannot see.
Yeah.
Certain of what you cannot see. So if I can make sense of it, it's not faith.
Exactly.
If I can see it and rationalize myself, then it doesn't fit the definition.
No faith.
And it just doesn't make it easy. We pray all the time, the band, and we're like, is this what we're supposed to be doing? I think too, because we started our career so young, we thought the success in our metrics would come young. And not that 30 is old, and I'm still 29, so I wouldn't know anything about that. But we thought by 25 at the latest, And then you start to reason, like, married now, have a kid. Should I still be chasing this? Because there's also this, like, fear of having a pipe dream or being, like, the person who's like, you should probably get a job.
Yeah, I know some cats that's still at the park doing cone drills. And it's like, hey, bro, you're 42.
You're not getting into the NFL.
You're not getting to the league, bro. I appreciate the hustle, but...
I do. But it's like, but they're having faith for it. You know what I mean?
You're not about to play corner, bro.
It's just... But that's where I get stuck.
And you don't want to be, like, still, like, we're on the road, like...
Yeah, here we go, back again.
Yeah.
And the difference between the person who's trying to make it happen in their own strength and the person who is following a word from the Lord.
Facts.
Is one is leaning to your own understanding. And we can have all the hope in the world in our own strength. And then one requires hearing from God in a real way.
Yeah.
And making sure it was God. And then 2, standing by it. So I think that's why we go back to, like, God, is this what you still want us to do? Because if it's not, this isn't the easy path.
Facts.
I could be making more money, spending less time doing this, And at the same time, I'm like, but if this does what I think you told me it's going to do, then, like, you would be the only one who can get the credit for this.
Right.
And I think that's what it boils down to, why our math equations don't always hold up. Because it's like, if you can trace anything back to a human, you are going to glorify the person instead of me, God, And which is why I'm always talking about the upside down kingdom. Like, he does such radical things. One, because he cares about our character more than he does our comfort. So it's like the fact that time is making you sweat, God cares very little about. Now, he cares about you, the person, and talking and processing with you in that moment. But he's not like, okay. Like, I didn't realize that you were going to be uncomfortable around time, so I'll change it.
No.
He's like, no, the time is doing what it's supposed to. Mm-hmm. I'm just outside of it.
Yeah.
And then...
Which sometimes it's like,
so
great, this is awesome.
But then he goes into the scripture, I believe it's also in Hebrews, I might be wrong though, where it's talking about not having a high priest who can't empathize with our weaknesses. He was tempted in every way we were, yet did not sin. Facts. And I'm like, so that means that he was like, what is taking so long?
Yo, you want to know something real wild? He's still patiently waiting to spin the block.
What?
Like,
spin what block?
To come back.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we think we out here like, man, it's been 10 years. Mm-hmm. It's been thousands. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's all right. I can wait. Like,
I'm curious, though, if he's watching it unfold in a different way than we are. Than we feel it. Like, it says he doesn't sleep.
Nah, like
So I'm like, in my head,
he's the beginning and the end. So it's like he already knows how this ends. I believe that life is just merely the unfolding of already what is.
I guess, but it also says that Jesus doesn't even know the time or the...
Does that say that? I don't know if that's true because Jesus is God.
But look, you can look it up.
Let's see. What is this? What should
look up? Not even the Son knows. But about the day and the hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father.
That's interesting.
And this one, this is NIV, Son is capitalized.
Yeah.
So it couldn't be like Son of Man.
Dang.
So in that way, with the time thing, he also is not like, oh, well, this day, this is when I'm go back. Experience.
That's crazy.
That was to your point of like, he's like, when is it gonna?
That's a fact.
So, it does bring me comfort that he also knows how to wait. Mm. And there's a way to wait well.
Yeah.
And there's a way that produces hope and faith in you. And then there's a way that produces like doubt and discouragement. Mm-hmm. And it feels like the path to that is not looking at this. Like the experience we have. Like, oh, I'm 29 now. I've aged out. Mm-hmm. But looking at him and being like, what do you say it is? Because maybe I'm not too old. Maybe I'm Sarah. And to me and my logic, I'm too old, but maybe you say differently.
Right.
Let me ask. You know, like, am I too old to have a kid? Instead of being like, you know, and God's like, you're going to have a baby. Yeah. Sarah was like, so sometimes with career stuff, I'm like I've started a family. Is it still the time to like grind it out? You know, like are we still doing that?
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I feel like what else would I be running towards?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I also was just laughing because I know there's going to be people who are like 10, 12, 15 years older than us
and see like, this
and be like,
you're a baby.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm creeping into unk territory from the younger kids.
Josiah said that.
Yeah, like 18-year-olds be old. Like, you a unk.
But he's like 21. I'm like, what?
Watch out. You almost a unk.
See, now that's how old people do. They just start saying no logic.
I know, and that's another conversation that we were having before this is like, I'm not old and I'm not young, but I am old to someone that's young and I'm young to someone that's older. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Which again proves...
It's all relative.
Yes. Because I'm sure the people that are looking at us like, you're so young, were once in our age, obviously, and we were like, and felt the same thing we felt. I was like, dang, I'm kind of getting old.
Facts.
But now that they're older, they're like, that's actually really young.
But sometimes these generations got differences. Like, yo, you go back to the 80s, 30-year-olds in the 80s were like, y'all were different kind of 30-year-olds. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I think we're getting further and further away from like,
maturity?
Yes.
Yeah. they was handling business. I'm still kind of like, I feel like 30-year-olds back in the 80s could like fix a car, I don't know, fix a sink, and then like
they just had to like
go
their
like
stuff together.
account something, like, you know what I'm saying?
They all went to college. But at the time too, there was also jobs
or new trades.
Yeah,
if they didn't go to college. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a generational thing. Like a lot of.
But I am at the age now where I'm looking at younger generations and I'm like, well, I like that.
Oh, it had to be.
I just watched this clip on Instagram where a girl was saying that she had to be maybe 16 or something.
Oh, dang.
And she's like, we wear clothes ironically. And I was like, who she was talking to was like, what does that mean? And she's like, we'll wear like, I can tell that you're older because you don't get it. Like if I have a shirt that says a color on it or something, it's like a block and it says yellow, and then the shirt says yellow, like that's ironic and that's funny. So that's why we wear similar clothes. I was like, that's exactly how I felt. I was like, what? But
maybe she's right. Because I don't get it.
I'm sure.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I'm...
Yeah. But I know that younger people be like, oh yeah, totally. Fact. And I'm like, I have no idea what that means.
And I
never put on an outfit and said, this is ironic.
Hey, I was wearing mint skinny jeans. 16 years old. The jerking movement taking LA by storm. New boys going crazy. People wearing checker skinny jeans.
Did you ever do checker or just?
Nah, I didn't have the checker joints.
I had a green pair. I wasn't mint, but I had a green pair.
I had some mint green skinnies.
I remember I got them from H&M. I was lit there.
Joints was like.
I got to find a photo. Do you have photos of this? And you were jerking just for your life. And those green pants.
And like walking around like,
I look good.
Yeah.
I obviously look good. Look at my green.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Woo-wee.
I hope that I'm at the age now where I look back. I don't make as bold choices in my outfits unless I'm on stage. So I hope I don't look back. I think I'm in a season now where it's just like, yeah, it's just a jean jacket and some pants. I don't think I'll look back and be like, what was I wearing anymore? Yeah. Hopefully.
I hope I'm not like that. But then again, it's like, who cares? Like, I saw a Donald Glover quote talking about, like, who's gonna be on their deathbed and be like, thank God I was never cringe.
Yeah.
And
me a little bit. That is actually something I would say.
Low key. When I read that, I was like, I fit.
Yeah, I kind of.
But also, that's like a liberating place to be in.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
I don't think I'm a naturally cringy person, though.
Neither am I.
But I'm sure somebody on the internet will find this and be like, actually, yes, I like.
Everybody.
And that's true. And to their opinion, that's true.
For everybody.
Yeah. So maybe I am.
Don't get me started on that.
But I'm saying that their opinion is right for them.
No, their opinion for sure is an opinion.
So I'm like, sure, if you think this is cringe, then that's right for you.
Facts.
I don't think the masses would think that, but who knows?
Could be super cringe.
Marriage could be cringe to people talking about. Processing emotion could be like super cringe.
Low key, starting a podcast is cringe.
If 100%,
like it's super cringe, and I'm just like, dang.
Just now though, it wasn't 10 years ago.
Yeah, you were just kind of like, ain't nobody gonna listen to you.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, everybody that has a microphone. I saw somebody. I saw there's this video on TikTok. And I don't even know what they were talking about. They were just talking about, like, I was like, what is this? And one of the comments was saying, they said, make recording gear more expensive.
People will figure it out, though. It's like, yeah.
Because he was like, yo, can't everybody do this?
No, but everybody is. And that's why, but that's the thing, too. It's, for me, the fact that a lot of people are doing a podcast with nothing to say was a thing that makes making a podcast cringy to me.
Because you kind of get stuck in the
well, it just seems like you're like following.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like
I feel like music was
look.
like that like 5, 6, 7 years ago when technology really bridged this gap in like bedroom production really started to flourish. She was like, oh, everyone's doing music now.
Yeah.
And I was in that way. I was on the way.
I was
when
right.
Everybody like, you know what I'm saying?
10 years ago, I was right. I was right before it.
Yeah.
Just like
when I was
before
21.
it. You were 21 10 years ago? Did that not sound weird to you when you said it out loud?
It did. But it's hard.
A decade ago,
hey,
you were 21.
Watch out, Z.
I was a teenager 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh. This is your version of your like little sister vibes.
Facts?
No, see, exactly. It's okay. It's good to see
math.
it though, because usually you're on my head about like, oh, you're always like such a younger sibling.
No, I've never.
And then I be thinking like, dang, she's right, but also she's the youngest sibling too. But I never see it. But like this is like the glimpse. It's cute. I like it.
Alright, if you like it, I love it. Cause I don't little sister you though, cause I'm your wife.
You
And
did.
you try to little
just
brother.
little sister me like right now.
Why do we both struggle with it? So hard. Little sister. Is it hard to say?
Little sistered.
You just little sistered me. Okay, so the ED helps.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
Little sistered.
I have to use the bathroom.
Yo, Zanny had to use the bathroom.
Couldn't hold it.
Couldn't hold it. It's all good. With that being said, we're just gonna cut this one short.
Well, not short. I think it's still a good length, but we'll just clip it so they don't see me getting out to go to the bathroom.
Right. And I couldn't find the scripture.
I wasn't going to put you on Front Street like that, but I was like, technically, I went to the bathroom when you couldn't find the scripture.
And then she puts me on Front Street.
You said it first. I agree. Concurred.
Sorry, I'm still gonna look for it and I'm gonna find it. Thank y'all so much for just shooting the breeze with this. I guess we should kind of phrase this one as something that's like
shooting the breeze.
Shooting the breeze. There you go.
That's what it was.
Sometimes it just comes and sometimes it just goes. Just like we about to go. All right. Peace.